Welcome aboard, everybody. My name is Doobyis. This is a show that I like to call Fly in Formation. It is an offshoot of my mix show After the Smoke is Clear, where every week I play my favorite independent hip hop for people across the country. I choose, pretty much exclusively Canadian artists to play and try to just really highlight different scenes and different artists across the country because I feel like the national scene lacks a little bit of unity. But without further ado, today, in trying to build that unity, we are talking with a Victoria-based artist. I'm happy to be joined here by OP Yeti, who sent over his new project for me. It's called Laser Car Accident, and I think it's out April 30th, so people should definitely be looking out for that. Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm very well. How you doing, Doobyis?
Hey, man, I've been good. The Oilers are up. I'm, halfway through watching the game, so I'm in a good mood tonight. Things are going well for me. Are you a hockey fan? You've been watching playoffs this year?
I like sports, but I don't follow them.
Fair enough, man.
Yeah, I'll sit down and watch hockey game, football game, basketball game, whatever. But I just don't have the capacity to follow stats and know who's who. And
I hear you
what
on
I
that,
mean?
man. Yeah, I
Love
appreciate
sports,
watching the game, but yeah,
love them, but I just got too much going on up there, man.
for
Not
real.
enough for statistics and shit like that.
Until it gets to the playoffs, dude. I have a tough time getting myself to pay any attention at all. I hear you on not paying any attention to statistics and all that stuff, but
It's just tough to pay attention to anything really these days, man.
hell yeah, you're staying busy. Hey, keeping
Yeah.
busy. So
I think lazy is the word you're looking for.
oh, okay. All right. Shit. Well, can you tell us a little bit about the album? I got a chance to listen to it, but maybe just for people who haven't heard it, let them know what they can expect from that.
Yeah, it's just 5 tracks that we slapped together. Gravy Beat, who is a very good friend of mine, is on 4 out of the 5 beats. And then Brainiac, who is a guy that's in Ruse Records, which is a little collective that we have in Victoria here. He's on. He did one of the beats. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing really. I mean, it's just 5 tracks that we slapped together, right? I got a couple other projects on the go, and it's probably going to be a while until we release them. So I figured, let's just put something out,
Hell
and
yeah.
then I did have a name for it, and we were in the studio one night, and we were just doing our thing, and someone said "laser car accident sounds." I was like, "Fuck, I love that." So I called up Gravy. I'm like, "Gravy, I need your best laser sounds and your best car accident sounds." So we just kind of peppered them throughout the album, and it just became what it is, man. It's just I'm learning to kind of have a little more fun with music and not really take myself too seriously.
Ah,
The first album that I ever did, End of a Messy Year, was very serious. It was very focused on this part of my life, and a lot of my friends and homies were just like, "Man, like, yo, this is good, but you kind of taking yourself a little too seriously. Like, you're dope, and you're kind of making yourself a little too vulnerable, and you're seeming, like."
okay. How long
So
ago
I'm
was
just
that first album?
2019,
Okay.
and so that's when I first really started releasing raps. Like, I've been rapping since '99, I think, but just as fun, and then Gravy, who I mentioned, we've hooked up. We used to have a group called Still Broke, and we kind of just did our thing and put it on SoundCloud. And then 2019 rolled around, and it got a little bit easier to put music onto like Spotify and all those streaming platforms.
Yeah.
So we kind of just went at it. And for that album, we had a really cool opportunity to go. Yeah, was it 2019? Yeah. but yeah, we went up to the Chamber studio and worked with Rob the Viking from Swollen Members.
Okay, dope.
And so that was really cool because we went from just recording on a laptop with an interface and a dynamic mic in my closet to going in and actually being in like a booth
Pro.
and having a legit, really talented dude, you know, behind the computer and everything, and just like
Hell
it
yeah.
was really intimidating, man. It was scary as hell, you know, because like recording, it's like it was always so comfortable. It was either just me and Gravy, and it's just like, you know, we're goofing around and being silly, and then it's just like, oh my god, I have to do everything right and every verse has to be on point. And it's just like it was really intimidating.
When
It was
the price tag, right? When that price tag changes for, and you're in paying hourly at a studio, it's like, ooh, okay, maybe I'll really make sure I have this song memorized extra well before I go in there.
exactly, and that's the point that it got to, where I was like practicing everything. Yeah, just really dialing it in, you know.
Dude, something I always tell rappers, like I've been recording some guys here just a home studio style or whatever, and prior to that, you know, I've worked with a lot of different rappers over the years, but I always like to tell people that, like, you know, don't really worry about that type of pressure, right? Because it's a lot. So I like to just keep things laid back and let people come in and kind of work you know, in a more laid back environment. And myself, when I'm recording, you know, like it's a blessing to be able to sit and record yourself, because then you don't feel like, you don't feel that pressure. You don't feel the engineer staring at you, bored as he hits, you know, go for the 16th take on the verse or whatever, right? But I feel like a lot of MCs treat it differently than, like, you know, guys in bands or whatever. Like anybody I've ever known who's in a band, they'll write a song, they'll jam that song, you know, for the next 2 months in some guy's garage twice a week. Then they'll go do shows and play that song in bars around, you know, the community, and then they'll go record that song. So by the time they're in there recording it,
they're dialed in.
Yeah, right. It's so well rehearsed. Whereas for rappers, everybody wants to write it, jump in the booth, say it, and then, like, you know, they're asking the engineer, like, can you mix it for me for tomorrow? I want to show the homies, right? Like, so it's always fun hearing about other people's creative processes, though. So I do like to ask, like, what's your ideal recording situation look like for you? Would you rather be home recording, or would you rather be doing
I'm not very tech savvy, and I just don't have the patience to, like, I have a setup at home, but I very rarely use it. Like, it's just a makeshift setup.
Will you do like rough takes there before you go into a?
Yeah. So if it's like a verse, you know, if OZ wants me on a track, it's like he sends me his verse, I do a demo, I send it to him, he says yay or nay, usually yay. So it's just kind of like slapping it together. Mixing and all that stuff, I just don't have it, right? So ideal studio situation would be an 8-pack of Lucky, some weed, and then just going over to OZ's home studio, because that's how we do it. We just have fun, right? Like it's past that nervous pressure point, you know what I mean? Like what I was talking about with the Chamber, where it's like you're in a booth and you got this guy who has Much Music, you know, awards on his mantelpiece.
Yeah, it's got the plaques.
Know, and like, yeah, exactly.
I was listening to him when I was 14 years old. Yeah,
and it's just like, now it's, you know, me and OZ are tight, right? And, you know, whoever's in the studio there is tight. There's no, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like, it's like, who gives a fuck? Like, let's just make some raps and be silly and just like have a good time. It's not even about recording at this point. It's just about like getting together and just creating, really.
Man, right? I respect that mentality a lot, but I also want to thank you for recording and putting the music out and, you know, letting your fellow hip hop heads across the nation hear it and enjoy it, because, dude, you got bars. And you know, likewise, so do OZ and you know, Brainiac, the whole squad out there, dude. You said it was Ruse Records. That's the name of your guys' collective?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ruse Records. Yeah, that was one thing that I wanted to ask. Is there any plan for like a group project? Like, are you guys? I know you all have solo projects.
Yeah.
Got a group one in the works?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we
Dope.
do. And over the years, we have we've purchased and acquired some beats from Mocha Only, and we're just kind of trying to throw that all together right now. And we're hoping to
Legend
have,
status that man has.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, that man is one of the coolest fucking Martians I've ever met, dude. Like the guy is. It was, yeah, he's really dope, and we've had our individual things going on, and now we're just coming together. It's like, oh well, I got 4 beats. Oh well, I got 4 beats and 2 verses. Oh well, I got 6 beats and 4 verses. Like, let's just throw them together. So yeah, we are working on something right now, and that's in the infant stage. Like, we're just kind of figuring out which beats we want to use, and just kind of figuring out, you know, topics and hooks and all that kind of stuff. So it's in the infant stage, but yeah, hopefully we'll have something by the end of the year.
Word. Nice, man. Love to hear it.
Because we love working together. Like, I linked up with OZ around 2019, 2018, and then did a show opening for Mocha at this really dope record store in Victoria called Vinyl Envy. And Mike from that shop, the owner, is like such a dude. He's like the chillest dude ever. And I don't know how we linked up with him, but I got a spot opening for Mocha, and Brainiac was at that show, and he came over and he's like, yo man, I want to send you this track. And it just kind of just turned into this like best friendship. So yeah, Ruse Records is Brainiac, OZ, Gravy Beats, and myself. And we're just homies, man. Like, it's not even like, sometimes we show up to the studio and we don't even end up recording anything, right? It's just like
a hang session. Yeah.
Let's just crush beers and smoke cigarettes and have a good time, you know?
Word, man. So you mentioned doing shows. Something that I like asking people, do you find more enjoyment being on stage or from the writing and actual like studio sessions creation of it? I feel like I kind of got this answer already, but maybe it'll surprise me.
It's situational, man.
Yeah.
Like, we've done a good handful of shows in the last 5 years, and I can find it to be extremely frustrating, and then it can also be very satisfying. Like, if you're doing a club show, you know, where it's like you got your 5 friends who always come to your shows, and then everyone else is just getting drunk and chasing tail and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like, that can be very frustrating, you know? I know,
dude, especially with lyrical rap, right? You want people to listen. Yeah.
Exactly. And the 3 of us, we put a lot of effort into our shows. Like, we did a pretty big show last summer, Lake Town, Shaketown, which is like huge. Wu-Tang was on the bill. That was one of the
I think I talked to you. Yeah, we've been trying to line this interview up for a while. I think I talked to you before you guys did that show. Yeah.
We managed to snake our way into it, and like it was insane, man. But you know, it can be very frustrating. And then like a show at Vinyl Envy, where it's a small record shop, and everyone who's there is just focused on you, and like when you get that response and that like people receive you and you can see, you know, their faces when you say that bar that you know is fucking dope.
Yeah.
But like, oh, you know, it can be so satisfying, but it can also be very frustrating.
Yeah, so maybe smaller venues then. That's
big time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we put a lot of effort into our shows, right? Like for that Lake Town, that's where I was going with this. That Lake Town show, you know, we were practicing every weekend, you know, going and, you know, at Brainiac's got a bunch of amps and mics at his crib and shit. And so we were practicing getting everything all nice and tight, and then when you put a lot of effort into something and then it just doesn't seem to really resonate with people, it can be very frustrating.
For sure, for
But it
sure.
is what it is, right? It's just like anything in life, right? Like you can't, you know, expect nothing and appreciate everything kind of deal, right?
I think a lot of the guys that I've been talking to, a lot of artists that are making hip hop in Canada, seem to take it like, I hope people like it when I put it out there, but if they don't, I hear a lot of sentiment that it's not that big of a deal, that the making the music is really something that people are enjoying, right? And I get that impression just talking to you that you're in that same boat, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, who cares? Doesn't matter. I mean, in the end, nothing really matters, right? So no, it doesn't. It's not a big deal. But I do like going into the studio. I think that's probably the more consistent, you know.
It's always a good time, really.
And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't do a lot of writing with other people around. Like when I'm writing, it's just by myself, and that's nice to have, right? Just the solitary creativity. But yeah, man, I would say it's situational. Like sometimes it can be very frustrating writing a rap. You find a scheme or you're trying to say something but you just can't get to it. It can be super frustrating, man. Anything really. Yeah.
Word, man. Yeah, you got a mean pen game, dude. So I wanted to ask, like, do you got writing tips for people who are trying to get into it? Like you talked a bit about there, some guys like writing in studio with a bunch of people around, and others would rather sit back with a set of headphones and a beat on loop and have some time to themselves to write. You're from that camp, I take it. Do you normally write to a specific beat, or are you the type of MC who's writing stuff and then putting it to beats afterwards?
No, it's all crafted to the beat. I need a beat. I need a feeling. I need to feel something before I start writing.
Word, man. How about like writer's block? You got any tips for the youths on how to get through writer's block?
It's not writer's block. It's just your creativity needing to charge up. It's not a block. It's just you've bled yourself and you gotta charge up. That's all it is.
Word.
It's no such thing as a block. If you're creative, you're never blocked. It's just you just need time to charge up a little bit, right?
I like that mentality. Yeah. I think, it's also like a muscle. I like to tell artists that the more you write, the easier it'll get for you to write on a consistent basis, right? So, okay. Like artists coming up, I always recommend, like, just force yourself to write a verse a day, do something, and you'll get to a point where you're no longer forcing it, where it feels like it's just easy coming to you.
And then even if it's just the most stupidest shit that you're coming up with, as long as you're doing something, right?
Yeah, totally. Put pen to paper. Yeah, man. You were talking about like charging up. Do you take inspiration? Well, let's just ask that open ended. Where do you take inspiration from?
Life,
yeah.
Mostly friendships. I find relationships or any interactions with people, that's where I get a lot of my love or hate. You know what I mean? Like any kind of interaction. That's what drives me is the just the interactions that you get in life, all the transactions, social transactions. That's what really drives me.
Nice, man. Yeah. Do you listen to a ton of music?
Not really anymore. All I really listen to are beats. That's it, man. Like I listen to the radio at work, but I mean,
yeah.
I'm not driving any motivation or.
You're not coming home putting on an album or anything, hey? You're not finding inspiration or motivation from hearing what other people are making, that kind of thing. No, that's fair enough, man. I know that there are artists from both of those schools for sure.
Yeah, like just not right now. I love like I like any type of music. If it sounds good, I like it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just haven't really been on the I haven't really been listening to a lot of other people's music.
Weird, man. Honestly, I hadn't either until I got offered this slot on CKXU here in Lethbridge to do this show, and thought, well, I know a lot of rappers. I could probably play all these guys' music. And then once I actually started paying a little bit more attention to the Canadian scene, like I used to be the guy buying albums and, going through liner notes and finding all this, going and buying other guys' discographies if I hear a feature that I like from them or whatever, like all that, right? And now I kind of stopped that. Like for almost a decade, I kind of fell off of like looking for new music and being engaged with it like that. But now with doing After the Smoke is Clear again, like just I've been dipping into the Canadian scene and I'll see, somebody like you featuring OZ and Brainiac. Okay, well, I found two more people who I better go listen to their music, right? And and man, like every week, it just blows my mind the amount of new music that comes out of Canada from artists who never get any shine, right? Like if you ask somebody on the street, hey, can you name 5 Canadian rappers, they'd be hard pressed, right? I think the average person would be very hard pressed. You'd get like Cardinal off a shell being named off the top of people's heads, right? But and no shots at Cardi, he's a legend who deserves his shine, but there's all sorts of talent across the country that is putting out such good music that if you ever do find yourself, shameless self promo here, if you ever do find yourself wanting to listen to some music, I think you might find some motivation and some inspiration from listening to some of the other indies who are doing it, because even just the range of styles that you get out of people making independent music, I find it inspirational anyways, man. But
of an artist, a Canadian indie hip hop artist who I haven't heard anything from in a long time, Buck 65.
Oh, dude, he actually dropped an album that I played on ATSIC. I think it was him and Tachichi. There was a track called Bravo that was super dope. Look up Buck 65 Bravo. And that was the single from his newest album, as far as I know.
Back in the day, when was it Weirdo Magnet? Was that the album? It was one of his first, but when that shit came out, that inspired me crazily, dude. Like I think I was just listening to Wu-Tang at that point in time, and then it was just like, whoa, this guy is fucking weird. Like this guy is
dude,
some shit that's just like I can kind of relate to this stuff. And then like a couple years later, he does like a French like contemporary album, and it was just like, what can he not do? Like he's just
definitely, man. I saw him. He was the first guy I ever saw live play a sampler, play his own beat, and rap to it. And that was, I saw him do that at the U of A. He was playing a little pub just beside the U of A. I was probably 19, 20 years old or something. But yeah, I remember seeing Buck 65, small little venue, and just he blew my mind.
Did he do his Mick Jagger impression at that show?
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
Not that I can remember, yeah.
He was in Vic many, many years ago, and he showed you how to act like Mick Jagger, and it was like the funniest thing ever. It was really good. I'm not going to butcher it, but
Fair.
It was really, really good. It was really good.
So maybe one day I'll talk to him and I'll ask him what his thoughts on Mick Jagger are. Dude, this is a question that I think a lot of rappers probably get asked, and I don't love asking it, but why did you choose your rap name? Why OP Yeti? I don't think I've asked any other rappers that yet, but OP Yeti strikes me as something that probably has some sort of story or something relevant that I want to hear about to it.
It was just initials, and I'm a very hairy guy, so I just wanted to capture that kind of quality of myself. And Yeti,
I wondered if it was like a seclusion reference, like are you out in the wilderness hiding away somewhere?
Himalayas.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, actually, an album that I'm working on right now that's been like in the works for 5 or 6 years, I think now.
One of those, yeah.
Yeah, I do have a track called Himalayas, and it's kind of just about that seclusion. Yeah.
Was that already released? I feel like I could sing that one to you. Or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. Okay. I'm thinking of somebody else.
It's been recorded and ready to go. I think half of the album's ready to go, but it's an album that's kind of just it's like I talked about not taking myself so seriously.
Word.
This album is kind of serious, and it just touches on some just like drinking and partying and just the kind of push and pull of being a 30 something year old who's a weekend warrior kind of deal. And it's just really hard to get into the studio and spit about the shit. Like, I've had it all written, but I'm just not in that state anymore, so it's hard for me to want to go and be like, yo, Z, let's record this song about me being hungover and sad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't want to do it.
The time might have passed for it or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Where, well, yeah. I mean, don't let anybody convince you to only make a bunch of like party rap though that you can play in a club, man. Because there's a lot of good hip hop that you can't play in a club, or that isn't for listening to all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
that'll never be a thing. But yeah, going back to your question, OP Yeti, I was listening to a lot of MF Doom, and I just like the initials and then like a solid word at the end, and I was just kind of following that a little bit, and I just thought, OP, my initials are OP.
Am I supposed to spell it all caps when I say the man's name?
Oh, it's supposed to be all lowercase, if anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Just the Doom reference made me wonder there. Okay. What else do I have to ask you about here? Something I ask everybody, just because part of the reason I like doing this show and this segment is to shed light on different scenes across the country. Can you describe the hip hop scene? I don't know, be as specific as you want to, really, but around where you're at, whether that's Victoria or if you want to talk about the Vancouver scene or just the coast in general or whatever.
My mom always said, if you ain't got something nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Sure.
So all I can say is that Ruse Records, what we're doing is pretty sick. I wouldn't be doing it with these guys if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Think that we have an edge on things, and but we're just doing what we do, and that's all that we really care about.
You guys caught my ear just because you are, I'm going to say all three of you, pretty top tier lyricists. I'm, an MC myself, so I really like rhymes. I really like, rhyme structure and word plays and all that stuff, man. So, props. That's definitely something that I hear coming out of Ruse Records is bars.
Yeah, that's what we're all about. And that's even like one of our things. It's just like, oh, that's not dope. Oh, that's bars.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much, Doobyis. Yeah, we're having a good time, and that's what it's all about. I wouldn't be doing this shit if I wasn't having fun, and just, coincidentally, we all sound really nice together. So
yeah, it's working out.
The way it is, right?
Yeah, it's nice, man. This is a question that I've had written down for a while that I've been meaning to ask people about, and I never do. How do you feel about ghostwriting? I know that there are Canadians out there running around ghostwriting for each other. I hear about it. I'm not going to say any names or whatever, but is that something you guys would ever, well, you specifically would ever think about doing for other artists?
I don't think so. I mean,
it's always felt strange to me.
If you're willing to create something and then give it to someone who cannot create, like, do it. I don't know. I don't really care. I would never do it.
Word.
Like, I mean, sometimes we workshop hooks together, but that'll be the closest to like letting anyone's words enter my mouth, or letting my words come out of anyone else's mouth. Hell, what I mean?
I hear you. I think that there are some artists who look at it like it's so fucking tough to make any money off of making art, music specifically, that if they're trying to make it into something that's paying their bills, that's one way to do it, is get X hundreds of dollars to write verses for whoever, and if your pen game's quick, you can probably do that pretty fast. And I
think for more of like a commercial angle, like, you can get away with it, because like with commercial rap,
it's regular in the mainstream.
Not really much is being said, right? So it's like hotel art, you know what I mean? So you can just do whatever. right? Like I don't know how I could. Yeah, I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah, I hear you, man. How about social media? What's your social media game like? How hard are you pushing on social media?
I don't really like social media. I don't think I'm very good at it. I don't know.
Well, I'll chop some clips from this, and we'll get some of it to TikTok or
Yeah,
whatever, and see if we can
I
get some word out there.
I
Yeah.
try. I think I'm funny, but I don't think everyone else thinks I'm funny. So it's like kind of a love-hate relationship. And I'm trying to channel that a little bit, just like kind of being passive aggressive and like, you know what I mean? Like I just posted something on Instagram and I was like, I've been trying to hype up Laser Car Accident, and I said something like, I was gonna release a video early, but none of y'all give a shit, so fuck you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like that's
Word.
my angle. Like it's,
Have
I
you done
don't.
music videos before?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a couple. We got a part of Ruse Records is our homie Austin, who's done a couple for OZ. Hacksaw, I got a video for, which is really sick. He did such a good job, and he did put so much fucking effort into it. You know that old Bob Dylan video where he's holding the cue cards and he's dropping it as the
Yeah.
lyrics, like sitting in the
Yeah.
basement, think about the government. It's kind of inspired by that. So it's a lyric video, but done. It's He did a really good job. Yeah, I got
Cool.
a couple videos out on the YouTubes. Yeah, yeah, that I've done over the years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. I mean, I think making videos even counts as a form of social media too, because a lot of the time, you can just chop a 30-second clip from one of those videos and post it on whichever platform, and that's as good a content as anything else. But I think people get wrapped up in like all these like tips for content creation that tell us to do things in this like weird artificial way, like and I don't know, man. I've looked at that and just been like, no, I think I'd rather interview guys and take little 30-second samples and call that content. Like there's ways that you can do it and still put your personality out there and still help the scenes across the country or whatever a little bit, like help people get word out about their albums. And yeah, so this is the angle I'm taking on it, is like let's make content by having
like
genuine
this.
conversations, right?
Yeah, I like this. Like this is purposeful. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go into it, but yeah, it's just
I hear you. Yeah.
it's just some, I know other artists and it's just like, what are you doing? Like posting motivational fucking memes
Right.
of you go out and you do a photo shoot, with black and white photos, and you talk about how fucking loyal and strong you are. It's just like, that's not rap. That's not hip hop. That's not even contributing anything to anything except for your image and your ego.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be like some weird life coach as well as
yeah. And then you listen to their raps and they ain't talking about shit.
Right.
It's just like yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's as far as I'll go into it.
I hear
I'm
you.
not a big social media guy. I mean, sometimes I think I'm funny, but I don't get a response. So it's like, oh, well, I guess I wasn't funny. I'll take another 2-month break, and then I think of something funny 2 months later and I post it. It's like, yeah, got 0 hearts on that one. No one thinks I'm funny. So,
dude, yeah, and that can get discouraging, right? Putting out music, and you see some people putting out music and they've got a song out for 2 days and there's 3,000 likes on it, and anything they post just gets all these likes, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I know some guys are buying views or buying followers or whatever, but like, man, yeah, man, right? So
yeah, but a lot of people are attracted to shiny objects, right?
hell yeah, it's true. It's true, man. It's that George Carlin quote. You think about how dumb the average person is, and then half the people are dumber than that, right? So some of these people are just being tricked by whatever is put in front of them, I think. But at the same time, there are also artists who I like and who make art that I like, and they're trying to manipulate that same numbers game or whatever. So like, like I said, I think there's a way to do it that comes off with a little bit more authenticity.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
I try to, support the guys who show that or whatever. And
Totally,
definitely,
yeah. Some guys have it. Some people have it and are really good at it. You know what I mean? It's just when it deviates away from the music and it's just about the ego,
yeah,
that's when I'm just like, ah, this just irks me. You know what I mean?
hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you manage to balance between work and art? This is something I like asking people because you always get different responses from different artists. But
Yeah.
like I was saying, it's tough to make money off of the art, so people are forced to work, but then it's tough to have enough time to also make the art. If you're grinding away at whatever 9 to 5, right? A lot of people are just exhausted all the time in that
Yeah.
situation. How do you
Oh,
manage it, man?
definitely. Um, I just kind of use Ruse Records. You know, we all kind of just go off of each other. We all kind of go through slumps, and then we pick each other up. Like I really just get. Yeah, I don't think I manage it as much as I just try to keep up with Brainiac and OZ and Gravy. You know, it's almost just like a healthy competition, really. You
Yeah,
know,
dude, being
um,
around good artistic people, that pushes artists forward for sure. Having
big.
a solid camp like that, that's so big. um
Yeah, I usually just try to stick to just the basics during the week, and then the weekend when I don't have to worry about going to work the next day, or I just like to kind of be fully relaxed.
Hell yeah, yeah. um any plans for touring coming up? You guys doing shows?
Yeah, nothing really solidified. I think we do have a show at that final MV record shop in June or July, I forget when. But that's the only thing really we've been trying to do, or just at least plan for an island tour. I
Nice.
think that would be really cool. Um, but you know, yeah, we all got lives, right? So it's tough, man. It's tough.
For sure. Well, and to make it so that, yeah, you can actually make enough money doing it that it's not quite a hit to the pocket or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
I think if you guys came out to Alberta, like everybody who listens to my show, they're looking for artists like you guys who make that type of lyrical hip hop, right? Like boom
Yeah.
bap style hip hop.
Oh,
Um,
cool, man.
yeah, man. So
That
like
really makes me feel
if
happy. I love hearing that kind of shit for sure, dude.
yeah,
Yeah, we
man.
throw a really fun show too. Like, I'm I'm guilty of getting pretty drunk before my shows, so like, kind of get in trouble sometimes, but we like to throw a really fun show.
So
Like
so
it's
do you guys like cipher on stage, or how much of the show is written compared to kind of improvised
I
action
do
or
most of the improvisation. We usually just stick to our songs, and then we have some wiggle room time for saying stupid shit in between songs or whatever.
so is it's Brainiac who does most of the production for you guys, right? Or Brainiac and Gravy,
So
you said?
Brainiac, Gravy, and OZ all make beats.
Okay.
I pretty much just work with Gravy because I've known him since 2001, and we've been homies for a while, a
Word.
really long time. Um,
So if you guys are putting on a show like small venue type show where it's kind of your show more than opening for somebody or whatever, like would you have a DJ? Like does one of those guys have?
Gravy Beats is the DJ.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right on, you get a DJ and a few MCs on stage. Sounds like a good show, man.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And then Gravy's always got his sound effects that he's throwing in there. And yeah, it's we like to think that we put on a good show.
Word, yeah. I'd like to catch you one time, man. If you guys ever get out to Alberta, let me know, and I can at least you know, I can help with the promo. I can help tell you which artists you should be looking to have open for you that would fit with you, that type of stuff.
I really appreciate
I
that,
know the
man.
Alberta scene.
We're just in the process of trying to just make some capital before
Word.
we do anything serious. So you know what I mean? Like,
Small steps, yeah.
yeah, before we can you know, get a plane ticket or anything like that.
Hell yeah, man. Well, you know, it's all like you said, small steps, just laying groundwork, putting out music or whatever, and hoping that people are playing it across the country, right? So I can tell you that people out here in Alberta, at least the ones that are listening to ATSIC, will have heard some of your guys' stuff, because I've been playing everything that you put out for the last couple of years, everything off of all your projects. It's all popping up on ATSIC.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Support, my brother.
Hell yeah, man. Speaking of support, something I ask absolutely everybody: what's the best way for supporters to support you, for fans to support you?
Like my Instagram posts.
Hell yeah, he'll make more if we
Send
click like
money.
if we click like on his Instagram posts, I hear he'll make more Instagram posts. So
Yeah, and just, you know, send me cash. That's the best way to support me, is just give me the money that you make.
So, for instance, though, like this Laser Car Accident album, is it going to pop up on a Bandcamp? Because Bandcamp's always the best way to get an artist money, right? They take the smallest cut.
I have been procrastinating so much. I'm been meaning to get on Bandcamp, but I have trouble sitting down and doing things.
Yeah,
you know.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to do it. I know Brainiac's on Bandcamp and he's all about it, and it's just like me and Ozero like, oh yeah, we should do that, and it's just like, oh, a butterfly, and then you just forget about it, right? Like, it's just, yeah, I know. No support. No, I don't really care if anyone supports me or not. I'm doing this for fun. Like, I have a job that is secure and whatever, and that's,
yeah.
I don't expect to make any.
How about this then? I always tell people, if you like my show, tell somebody you know who likes hip hop to listen to it. So I think that is good advice. Just if you like OP Yeti's music, you know, tell somebody else who likes hip hop, check out this guy that I've been listening to, because so many people, yeah, right. It goes a long ways, man. And I mean, so many people just get kind of wrapped up in listening to mainstream stuff, and they're listening to whatever new guys out of Atlanta or whatever, you know, the newest Spotify, whoever's being pushed on their algorithms, like
whoever's got the most bots.
Yeah, right. Whoever's got the biggest numbers. And I think like legitimate word of mouth between actual hip hop heads should go farther than it seems to. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like we should just be able to tell people, go find that music, but it's tough to get people to click links. It's tough to get people to go type people's names in and search for music.
There's that trust too in between two people, right? Like, if this person is listening and liking, and they're gonna tell someone, there's trust, there's a likeliness, or there's like a common thing, you know what I mean? So it's like a more refined way of spreading, rather than just, hey, I'm gonna pay you $150 to put me on a playlist that nobody's gonna listen to. It's all bots.
Exactly.
But, oh, I have 3,000 listens on this song, and that's, you know, yeah. I think the word of mouth thing is definitely the way to go, dude, because you have that trust in the transaction. You know, this person trusts that this person they like the same things, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. And I know that we've kind of already talked about it, but click like on people's shit too. That boosts it up the algorithm, right? Like, if you like somebody's something, click like on it. Anybody I'm playing on ATSIC, anytime I see an IG post from you guys, I'm clicking it, you know, like because that shows it to more people. Like, and it cost me nothing, you know what I mean? I think
it's little to no effort.
Maybe it's specifically like in hip hop culture that people are kind of like, a afraid to help each other, or like that we all look at it as this like competitive genre, so we need to like, oh, I don't want to support that guy, I only listen to my own music, you know, kind of deal.
He's better than me, I'm not gonna support him.
Yeah, right. So you know, I encourage people, just spread love, man. But yeah, that's so important. That's the reason I do this show. And you know, I appreciate you coming on here to just have this conversation, dude. Yeah, I don't really have a ton more left to ask you. I guess I do always ask, can you give an artist a shout out? I guess we've already talked about all your like close homies. Is there any other artists on your radar out there who I don't know, you think people might not be up on that they should be?
Shout out to you, my man, for doing this.
Hey, props, man. Thanks.
Like straight up, yeah. Yeah. Between the circle, man. I mean, I don't deviate far away from my comfort zone, and you know, you can say whatever you want to say about that, but yeah.
Hey, for the second interview in a row last week, I talked to Azrael Rapsgood, and we had to give props to Mocha Only too. He had some stories involving Mocha Only, so you know, if people aren't still listening to Mocha Only, they should be. I feel like there's probably people out there running around who lost track of Mocha Only 15 years ago and don't realize that he's one of the most prolific artists in the country. But shouts to that guy again.
Yeah.
And
there's lots of cats out here in Victoria that we fuck with big time. So just shout out to everyone.
You guys actually, I did an interview last year. Some other dudes from Victoria, whose name is not coming to mind right now. They play all sorts of festivals. But they actually shouted you guys out. They shouted your squad out as when I asked them that question. Ilvis Freshly.
Those guys are really cool guys. They're really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the earlier interviews I did, so it's been a while.
Yeah, I think I've opened for them a couple times, just once maybe, but we went and partied with Jesus once, I think. Yeah, he was a cool guy. Yeah, Those are great. Yeah, really nice dudes.
Dope, man. All right. Well, yeah, once again, people should find your album April 30th. Where can they find it? iTunes? Is that where I should tell people to buy them then?
Anywhere.
Or just stream it?
Yeah, it'll be on all the platforms. Yeah.
Okay, right on. Do that. And hey, if you like OP Yeti's music, tell a friend about it. And if you like hip-hop in general, tell them about After the Smoke is Clear and Fly Information interviews.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Extra important. All right, man. Props. Thanks for doing this.
Doobyis, respect, man. Thank you very much, my dude.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you. I'm getting back to the Oilers game. Let's go Oilers.
All right.
All right, man. Peace.
All right. Peace out.